Hello and good evening. You're watching DD News and this is the late edition. I'm Gautam Roy. Well, sports fans across the country hadn't even recovered from the setback of wrestler Narsingh Yadav's doping scandal when India's Rio Olympics build-up was rocked by another similar shocker. Now Rio Olympics qualified shot putter Inderjeet Singh failed a dope test as his A sample returned positive for a banned substance. But the twist in the tale is that both the Olympic medal hopes are claiming that they've been framed. How could this happen and what is the road forward? Let's take a look.
The euphoria over India sending its largest ever contingent to any Olympics for the Rio Games marred somewhat due to doping taints. Two medal hopes, 74kg category wrestler Narsingh Yadav and reigning Asian shot put champ Inderjeet Singh coming under a scandalous shadow. In Inderjeet's case, the 28-year-old's A sample has returned positive for a banned substance. He's been asked by the National Anti-Doping Agency or NADA that if he wants to test his B sample, he should do it within 7 days.
He is given an option of sample B. Right now only sample A has tested positive and sample B we would give him an option, and if he chooses that, then the seal would be, he would be witness to the sealing that was done in his presence, and the testing would be done in his presence. And after that the report comes in, then a panel would be constituted where he can put up any other defense that he would like to.
But reports say that after the shot putter was informed about his positive sample, he's claimed to have been framed. Inderjeet is one of the first track and field athletes who qualified for the Rio Olympics as he made the cut last year. He had a training stint earlier this year in the United States under funding of the Sports Ministry's Target Olympic Podium scheme. Now his Rio Olympic dream is as good as over. He also faces the danger of being banned under the new World Anti-Doping Agency or WADA's code.
He's been provisionally suspended till his B sample is taken. Athletic Federation has a clear-cut thing. We have zero tolerance on doping, and we would like to take a team which is clean to Rio Olympics.
74kg category wrestler Narsingh Yadav is already in trouble. Even his B sample tested positive for anabolic steroid used for building muscles. The Wrestling Federation of India is backing his conspiracy claim, and even Prime Minister Narendra Modi has been briefed on the matter. Narsingh has sought a CBI probe into his alleged doping. He is also set to present his case before a disciplinary panel. But with little over a week left for the Olympics to get underway, only a miracle could get Narsingh to Rio. Bureau Report, DD News.
Alright, so claims being made of being framed and a lot of investigation to be gone into, but time is short since the Olympics are beginning on the 5th of August. Is there any hope? What kind of lessons can we really draw from this? We have senior sports analyst Malay Neera with us in our studio. We also have former Indian Olympian hockey player Aslam Sher Khan and Jawaharlal Jain, sports medicine expert, all three joining us to talk about this. First, if I could come to you, Sher Khan Saab, what do you make of this? We have to presume that these sports persons are innocent until proven guilty. And the fact that they're saying that they've been conspired against, they've been framed, will that hold any merit as far as investigations into what has happened really go?
I think it is going to be very bad in that sense that before the Olympic this thing come up. First thing is this, and come from the doping NADA, they're giving this that they got the positive for both the players. I think this moment is a very unfortunate, and I think for the India's sports is very bad that before going Olympic, just nearby this thing happening. Because if they can get substance in the game.
But the basic defense is that, you know, when somebody has worked so hard to get to the stage that one has been picked by one's own country, has made the quota for going for the Olympic Games, that's the highest that you can aim for as far as a sports person is concerned. Why would you do it to yourself? Why would you dope and then be caught doping?
Yeah, that's why this is the first time this is happening. You know, like before just going to Olympic, they qualify, they are done the lot of winning in the World Cup and other places, they qualify for the Olympic. And of this
Inderjeet is an Asian champ.
And is in mid of the between this thing, they are caught on the doping. I think it's very serious matter, and we have to think about it's not good for India and not good for the sports of India.
Definitely. Malin, Nirav, as far as the road forward is concerned, do you think their journey for the Rio Games is pretty much over? Because even if all these charges and counter charges are gone into, it will take time, and by that time the games will be over.
Well, it is really very unfortunate, very, very unfortunate, very sad that, two of your real medal hopes, they are caught or they are apprehended. Now, the thing is that there are two aspects of it. First, what next? In the case of Narsingh Yadav, 2016 WADA rules, the actual, I think it's 10.4 of the WADA rule, which says very clearly that if a sports person who's likely to participate in an event, if he complains that his thing has been sabotaged by a competitor, then in that case he has the right to defend himself, but the onus lies on him to prove himself innocent, and for that he'll have to produce a witness as well.
How easy or difficult is that?
This is not so easy.
How often has it happened?
Definitely not so easy. This is definitely not so easy. But if you look at the series of events leading to this kind of, the fact that has been brought to light now, if you look at the series of events, and you will see that before Narsingh Yadav was actually, not exactly, I should not be using the word caught.
Tested positive, let's say tested positive.
Before he tested positive, both his samples, his room partner, Tulsi, who was also there, he was also tested positive. Now, it is a very strange thing. Now, the kind of allegations or complaints which have come from Narsingh Yadav and the Wrestling Federation of India, if you look at that, you can see that the waters are really very murky, because they are indirectly.
And his claim gets some sort of a credence because of the fact that there was this tussle for that spot, which
for a long time
it
also went up to the court, and even after the court, when Sushil Kumar could not get any kind of relief from the court, now with this man claiming that he has been framed, that there is a conspiracy against him, and also it was not in a very good taste the way Sushil tweeted once just after he was tested positive. Now,
Sushil
in this
tweeted,
background,
his father also spoke to the media.
Now, in this background, you see, I'm sure that Sushil would be disappointed that he didn't get a chance to go and try for a third Olympic medal. That's fine, but here a good wrestler who's earned a place after doing well in World Championship, and he is testing positive, and there is a serious doubt, a question mark raised by none other than him, and which says that he has, in all probabilities. Now, very, very briefly, let me tell you that the Sonipat camp, Sai camp at Sonipat, that has been talked about for wrong reasons, all the wrong reasons, for a long period of time. Because, there was a sting operation done there, and then there was a complaint filed when the chef said that somebody came and make something in the dal that was being cooked. So they had to throw the dal away, and the Sai authorities did not take cognizance of it the way it should have been taken. Now, Wrestling Federation of India also says the same thing, and Wrestling Federation says it is not our responsibility to see to it that they are kept well. Right. So, in this background, and now with Inderjeet, who was saying that my coach should be allowed to go to Olympics, he was a vociferous opponent of the Athletic Federation, the way they have been conducting things. He also being declared as tested positive.
So you say that you're saying that they have valid reason to think that they might have been victimized. But let's also look at what they're being accused of having ingested. Let's bring in Dr. Jawaharlal Jain here. Yes. Dr. Jain, the kind of substance methandienone, I believe, is a drug that is in Narsingh's case. What kind of a drug is it, and do you feel that there is some logic in what is being said? Is that that's not the kind of drug a wrestler would be taking just ahead of crucial Olympic Games?
Methandienone is an anabolic steroid. It's one of the very old anabolic steroid, and almost used for last 20 years. and marketed as Danabol and Dynabol, freely available in a tablet form and even injectable form. One tablet 5 milligram dose.
Why is it freely available?
Is easily available means you can go to a chemist and take, because there is no need of any prescription, and hardly you need prescriptions to get these anabolic
I see.
steroids.
What does it do?
It's basically one of the very important anabolic steroid, and anabolic steroid basically they increase the muscle mass, they increase the muscle stamina, they increase the muscle strength and reduce fatigue. So the wrestlers, bodybuilders, weightlifters, sprinters, they take it for increasing their stamina, for their muscle mass, for their reducing fatigue.
Is that the kind of steroid, anabolic steroid wrestler heading for Olympic Games would be taking? Because wouldn't that person need an out-and-out performance enhancer?
Yeah, it is one of the performance enhancers. Nobody can say that it's not a performance enhancer, because the wrestler, the bodybuilder, the weightlifter, the sprinter, they take it for increasing their performance. At the same time, by increasing their muscle mass, by increasing their body stamina, by increasing their muscle strength. So weight gain is only very, very minor element in this, and you know, depends on how much you have taken, how many times have you taken, and for how long you have been taking it. So you know, that is an important factor, and in this case metendienone has been found to be positive in both the samples. Sample A has been found to be positive, sample B has been found to be positive, and sample B has been done in his presence at the WADA accredited laboratory in New Delhi.
You wanted to comment on this, Bharati?
Yeah. I just want to tell you that a couple of weeks before this test, in which he was tested positive, I think in early June also his samples were taken, both blood and urine, and nothing was found there.
Yes.
So when the second sample came, that was in the third week of June, when the sample was taken.
Around the 24th or 25th.
Around the 24th or 25th. I'm not too sure about the date, therefore I'm saying third week of June. That is when it was not reported in the blood, it was found in the urine. And then the B sample also tested positive. Now the question that you are raising becomes even more relevant, that a sports person who has put all his life and blood to ensure that he goes there, who has played in many international tournaments, he is not a kid, he is aware of the nuances of taking something just before the Olympics. Would he put his career on stake? And therefore there is some credence must be given to the charges that he's making.
That it's a very old
it's a very
drug.
old drug, and also the Kandivali colleagues of his who are training there in the Kandivali camp, there is an ongoing rivalry between the Kandivali camp and the Haryana camp. That's a very well known fact, which gives credence to the theory of conspiracy. But what I am saying, regardless of that, is that if somebody who's not tested positive till as early June, and who knows that more and more tests are going to be performed on him, who has participated in major international events including world championships, why should he be putting his career at a stake?
Aslam Sher Khan, do you think that when Narsingh goes in front of a disciplinary panel, which he will, either tomorrow or maybe a day after, do you think all these arguments will hold water? If he's able to get hold of a witness, that of course will be highly mitigating. But even these arguments, do you think that they could work in his favor?
In fact, I don't think so. You know, being very strict about that they were, when the doping they are got positive, I don't think so much this sort of theories not work like as a conspiracy. Somebody have to, because you know there is a system around. You are the team going in Olympics, the coaching's going on,
but a lot of people are blaming the system itself for what has happened.
I mean, this is the state of the India, the sport basically. You see, anything happen in this country. In the last minute, this thing happening before the Olympic is not going to the effect of these two boys. There's definitely effect on the Indian contingent. Because you see, when the image come up and the start, you know, if you're getting a start and the first start you got a langdi, you got a little bit, then the whole run will be the thing. And as you know, the Olympic is
I hope and pray that
it
that
can
is
be a
not the
dampener.
case.
It can be a serious, very, very major dampener for the Indian camp. For the first time, we have 100+.
Yes, it was such a high that we were all enjoying that we're sending the largest contingent ever to any Olympics, and now
particularly
that that effervescence has been dented a bit. It seems.
Absolutely.
Particularly when the Russian athletes, there the system is found in the worldwide discussion on doping. that the Russian administration, the whole sport business there in Russia was behind this doping. And I think it's going to be a very bad on this situation that India come on that one.
I think the WADA rules are very clear that anything and anything is found in your system, whether given by anybody, whether coach, doctor, athlete, relation, parents, anybody. You and you only are solely and wholly responsible for what has been found in your system. Okay, that rule is very clear. Now the onus is now, as
isn't that a little too stringent, because I cannot be carrying an extensive testing kit with myself to test each drop of water that I drink or each morsel of food that I eat.
But then they have to be very, very cautious. But you see, now the onus is, as Mallan Nirav has very rightly pointed out, that the onus is now on the athlete to prove his innocence. But that will be very difficult. Now the first stage is the disciplinary committee of the NADA, who is going to for the hearing panel, and only if they clear him, which will I think is very difficult, and then ultimately WADA has to clear the athlete for participation. It will not be easy.
The last word lies with WADA.
Last word lies with WADA. It is not very easy.
WADA has to examine. Now there is a faint ray of hope. I would not dismiss it completely. There is a faint ray of hope. If nursing is able to prove before the WADA appeal appellate authorities that he has been actually, his chances have been sabotaged by a competitor who has been fighting it out amongst other places in the court also, and has been terribly upset to see that nursing was going.
So you're saying he'll first have to prove it to NADA, and then he'll have to prove it to WADA.
Even if he doesn't prove it to NADA, doesn't matter. Even if NADA exonerates him, doesn't matter. The matter will have to go to WADA.
Still go to WADA.
They still go to WADA. WADA will take the final call, and it is very difficult but not impossible. Therefore, there is a provision in WADA, especially for claims like this.
How swiftly can these wheels move?
Very fast, very fast. The chances are very remote that nursing will make it to Olympics. Let's admit it. Now, his chances of making it to Rio...
Because right now what is being said is that even if we come up with a replacement for him, that too might be difficult
No, replacement is out of question. 18th was the last date when you could have talked about replacement unless there are injuries. So that's a different story altogether. Now, what is happening here now in the case of Narsingh Yadav, he continues to practice. He hasn't given up his hope. Nor has his room partner, who has already been declared guilty. Now, both of them are hoping that somebody will listen to them, that they will get a fair trial, they will get a fair chance. Wrestling Federation is backing them. Now, it is a very dangerous game for the federation. We know that when the weightlifting federation was under cloud, the entire federation was banned. Completely banned. It was unique in the history of this world that a federation was banned on charges of doping. So it is not so simple for a federation to take a public stand.
Is being shown to doping. That's what's happening to the Russians as well.
But the federation is taking a stand. The federation is taking a stand, supporting Narsingh, coming up with facts, reporting. It's not only crying foul that, oh, I'm caught.
No, but they're providing information. I can't call it evidence, but it's information at this stage.
Yes. Now, the thing is that the information has to be corroborated by evidence.
Yes.
Once they produce evidence, which is credible evidence, which is taken into account, WADA is convinced that, okay, fine, now the evidence has come. We see that there is actually some mischief done by somebody who could be his competitor. Now, there are several things. Let me just give you one instance. This man has complained, again it's a complaint, he has complained that the Director General of SAI advised him to have the camp in Bombay itself. He says, I wanted to be with other wrestlers and teammates in Sonipat. And I could have never imagined that they will do this to me. This is what he has said. He has asked for a CBI inquiry.
Yes, he has.
Right, in the entire matter. Now,
but again, all these things
are secondary. They do not ensure that he would be seen there on the floor, on the mat in Rio. So, I think it is very unfortunate, a very sad thing to have happened to Indian sports, especially when the Indian Olympic sports were getting a shot in the arm by 120 odd people in the squad, which has now been reduced by one. So, Indian Sports Ministry has already said, it has already ruled out the chance of Narsingh Yadav going there. So
yes,
hoping
almost
against
ruled out,
hopes,
although
hoping
even Prime
against
Minister
hopes.
Modi's taken interest in this
Yes,
case,
yes.
but we don't know what will happen. If I could again come to you, Dr. Jain, in the case of Indrajit, again, in his case, it's being said that it's a concoction of fancy drugs. Some names have come out, androsterone and etiocolanolone, difficult to pronounce names, but again, this is something that is still to be disclosed. Is the road equally difficult or even more difficult in
what has happened,
case?
Only his A sample report has been found to be positive, and he has been given 7 days to get his B sample analyzed. Invariably, normally, if A sample is found positive, B sample always is found positive. So in case his B sample is found positive, so then the ban situation can arise. And it's also one of the steroids. And it's a fancy steroid, and but once again I'm coming to that, the steroids, the anabolic steroids, it is said that they are the breakfast of champion athletes. Normally they are taken by weightlifters, wrestlers, boxers, sprinters, bodybuilders, to increase their muscle mass, to increase their stamina, to reduce their fatigue.
Even for short put you do require
it's basically they want to use it as a shortcut to reach the podium in the smallest possible time and to gain international stature.
And do you think, Aslam Sher Khan, this is even more bigger setback because of the fact that these are persons, both Indrajit as well as Narsingh, who could have got us individual medals, and India hasn't had a history of having too many individual medals as far as Olympics go.
Yeah, I think so, because very few people won the individual medals in the Olympics, but India was hoping more medal from the individuals now, because the individual sport started doing good, like shooting, badminton, and this wrestling, weightlifting. So there is much hope on these events, and I think somewhere the competition was easier than the other games. Like in athletics, there is a lot of competition, but like in a concentrated game like shooting, badminton is a little bit physical, but still the concentration is needed for a person.
Naturally.
So I think this happened with this wrestling and that one from the athlete. So I think this is a very sad thing for
Well,
India.
I hope that this is not a distraction for our large contingent that we've sent, because we know it's been said that we're targeting.
I think what is going to happen now, because our media, as you know, this is going to be a discussion up to the start of the Olympic. You see, it's not going to stop here, because these boys will not going to keep quiet. They're going to be for CBI. They have to do something, and the destruction and the diversion of the game, and it's going to be the entire Indian contingent, because ultimately they're going as a contingent, as in representing India. And India's story is coming in a different way.
But let me put it in a different way, because these people who are going to Rio representing our country, they are champions in their own right. They have gone through the grind, and they know that they should not be distracted by these things. Do you think we'll stay on that course of at least getting into the double digits as far as our medal tally is concerned? That is something that will not be deviated from.
See, double digit or not is anybody's guess. I'm not putting my money on double digit. But what I certainly feel is that though individuals and teams have to get rid of all these, outside propaganda effects, demoralizing effects of news like Narsingh Yadav's and Indrajit's, yet when you are part of a contingent, and Aslam Bhai is saying, when you're part of a contingent, you certainly get affected. Because you are in the news for wrong reasons.
Would they also feel that, look, two of our guys are saying that our food has been tampered with, water has been tampered with, we need to be doubly careful,
unnecessarily,
and they'll be looking over their shoulders as well?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, you get overcautious. You start thinking of all kinds of possibilities, whereby your chances would be jeopardized by others. And there are rivalries, intrigues everywhere. There are very few seats, very few quota places. People put their life and blood to get into the Olympics. And becoming an Olympian itself, whether you win a medal or not, is a big thing. You see, now, under the circumstances, I'm not quite sure whether the Indian contingent is going to remain totally unaffected by these controversies. The effect will be there. It has a demoralizing effect. It has a dampening effect. Nobody can deny this. Now, the idea is to get over this, and that is where the role of the psychologists comes in. The psychologists would be required to keep the tempo going, to keep their morale high. Otherwise, you know, it's a very, very sad thing to have happened just before the Olympics. Do you think now the Russians, look at the Russians, some of them would be allowed. They have said that they would be allowed.
What kind of frame of mind would they be in?
What type of frame of mind would
they're completely bitter.
Would they be? Yeah.
But Dr. Chen, just tell me, just inform me if there is any provision or any sort of portable kit that could be taken by these athletes to Rio so that they can test their water and food.
No, that is not possible. See, it's a highly sophisticated equipment and can be tested only in the dope control laboratory, and that too WADA accredited laboratory. Because nowadays the instruments are so sensitive, you know, even 1 nanogram quantity can be detected. No, so that like metadinon, you know, that has been detected on, you know, LC MSMS, you know, that is liquid chromatography mass spectrometry, and that these reports.
Sorry to interrupt, Dr. Jain. What Gautam is asking is that
should
they be carrying a kit to test the water before they drink it?
But
no, it's not required.
It is not required. It is not. One thing is not required. It is Olympic Village. It will be clean.
It will be clean. It will be because the same water, the same food is served to everyone.
Yeah, same food is served to all of them. So it will be clean, and I don't think you know, that can be an issue there, that they have to carry a portable kit.
To that extent.
No, they cannot. You know, and I don't think it is required to carry a portable kit to test their own water, you know, for drinking, because it is a very clear segregated village, and you know, no unauthorized person can enter that, you know, particular village.
And they just have to be completely safe and not be adventurous.
Let me also tell you this: when the first incidents of doping were reported from amongst Indian sports people, we the analysts were saying that there is a lack of awareness. First incidents when the end of the last century and early.
But now that is no longer the case.
But now that is no longer the case. They all have coaches. They all have very equipped, well-equipped centers. However, I must say that the Sonipat Center is in a bad shape. You have to see it to believe it. You have to see it to believe.
Well, all this will have to be relooked into, because of this sort of a setback coming in just ahead of the games, when we're sending the largest contingent ever to any Olympics. And let's hope that we have solid answers coming out of whatever investigation is carried out as far as these two scandals are concerned, and the chances of our contingent are not impacted by this. Thanks a lot for joining us this evening. We'll of course keep getting you all the latest on this scandal as well. Stay tuned for the latest to DD News.